be seated. I'd now like to invite His Excellency the President to address the gathering.
Our dear Prime Minister, Vice President, former President, heads of the Joint Services, or DPP, the Chancellor, the Chief Justice is here, members of the diplomatic community, Secretary General of CARICOM, all, good evening. Good evening. Before I go into some remarks, I wish to make the following statement on behalf of the government of Guyana. It is with extreme sadness that I received the news of the passing of Ambassador Elizabeth Ann Harper, one of Guyana's most outstanding citizens and foremost diplomats. Her distinguished career in the Foreign Service was marked by excellence, dedication, and an unyielding commitment to the advancement of our nation's interests. Just prior to her death, Ambassador Harper served as a permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. She was also a past Director General of the ministry. She was an extremely knowledgeable diplomat whose insights and experience enriched every sphere in which she worked. As Guyana's ambassador to CARICOM, she represented our country with dignity and distinction, earning the respect of colleagues across the region and beyond. Ambassador Harper will be remembered not only for her professional brilliance, but also for her engaging personality and the warmth with which she approached all those around her. She was gifted with exceptional organizational skills and brought clarity and order to every task she undertook. Guyana has truly lost an outstanding citizen, and our Foreign Service has lost one of its finest ever. Tonight, we have two former presidents, Vice President and former President Jack Dale, who she served relentlessly, side by side, on every international mission. She served former President Donald Ramatar, and indeed was also his running mate in one of our national and regional elections. On behalf of a grateful nation, I extend my deepest condolences to her family, relatives, former colleagues, and friends. Her passing is a monumental loss for our country, but her legacy of service, dedication, and excellence will continue to inspire generations to come. I invite all that we stand as we observe a minute of silence for Elizabeth Ann Harper. Thank you. May her soul rest in peace and rise in glory. Please have your seats. As Elizabeth would want it herself, the business of the nation continues and continues in her memory and her work. A few days ago, we were invited on the different circumstances of the inauguration of the president. It was much cooler, much brighter, and a lot more fun. This evening, we were invited, at the end of the night, you will tell me, what describes the environment. As you're aware, we have just concluded elections of 2025, and the People's Progressive Party came out with a resounding victory, one that is worth celebrating. That victory was the result of hard work, relentless sacrifices, and commitment of many, not only in the cabinet and in the parliament, but the ordinary Guyanese who embraced the vision of the People's Progressive Party city, who trusted the vision of the People's Progressive Party city, and who labored to ensure that that vision, that mission, and the plans we advance are what we want to achieve as a people together in this country. And tonight I ask you to applaud them for their hard work, for their commitment. I want all of them to know that whilst tonight is a representation of one aspect of government, their work is a heartbeat, a foundation, and a strength upon which we stand. And they will continue to be part of this journey of transformation. And they will be the foundation of the transformation that lies ahead of us. I want all to notice to the rest of Guyana, the work we are about to embark on is for all of Guyana, every citizen. It's to reach every home, to reach every family, to reach every community. And to reach every home and every family and every community in upliftment, in prosperity, in transformation, in a better quality of life. And to achieve this, as your president, there were many things that the leadership, I sat with the leadership and discussed. There were many things that had to be balanced. You heard me last Sunday speaking about the speed that we have to deliver at, speaking about the magnitude of the task, speaking about the necessity to hit the ground running, speaking about the clarity of the vision and the level of effort that is required to achieving that vision. And I know also that our country has expectation, and one such expectation was to see massive changes and shift. Let me say that the next 5 years are the most decisive years in our history. And it must be years that are results-driven, people-centered, and efficient delivery of service. The new cabinet today is put on notice that these are the measuring sticks. There will be continuous assessments, and there will be changes. Where some changes are necessary, because the foundation of this new government is about results, people, efficiency, transparency, and relentless hard work. So it is in that context that continuity, stability, agility, and speed form the basis through which we move forward. And it is in this context that the cabinet was crafted. You will see the traditional mix of our country, men, women, every ethnic group, youth, experience, and the government that we are building will be supported tremendously by technical expertise and skills. We were fortunate, and the General Secretary is here, to have a list of candidates that possess highly skilled and technically competent individuals. We had many professionals who chose to come on our list of candidates and align themselves with the People's Progressive Party civic agenda. And these candidates will form the backbone of this government. Their services, their technical expertise will be part of the driving force. It will be part of the human capital and human asset that will drive the transformation, the effectiveness, the efficiency of this government. They all will be playing key and critical role at different levels, all equal in effort, all equal in service, all equal ability as we take this country forward. The future that we are projecting does not rest on a cabinet or the members of parliament or the parliamentary secretaries or the advisors. Very advisors and technical people will be installed in the coming weeks. High-level personnel, world-class quality. But the future does not reside only on this cabinet, the parliament, the members of parliament, and the advisors. The future is about all the stakeholders at every level of government that must be involved and be part of this process of transformation. Our international representation, our international positioning, our security aspiration, all of these things form critical pillars of the journey ahead of us. It is our alignment with our goals, our alignment with our partners, our alignment with the international system that will determine the speed of our success, the agility of our country, and the ability of this country to be competitive and to win in every aspect of national life. That is what we are building. A country that is strong, agile, a country in which our human capital will be driven by knowledge, science, innovation, technology, and in which the service delivery and service orientation of the government is the center of the work we do. This government
Innovation,
is not about power.
technology, and in which the service delivery and service orientation of the government is the center of the work we do. This government is not about power, and I want to make that very clear. Power, you will find yourself out of the job very quickly. This government is the exercise of responsibility, service, humility, no egos.
With great clarity, some of the expectations of our people. And we intend
every Guyanese and fulfill the expectations of our people. And their expectations are to live a life of dignity, a life in safety, a life of honor, a life in which prosperity reaches every home, a life in which our elders can retire in dignity, in comfort, in which your communities are clean, you have sanitation services, a life in which you feel alive with high quality and standard of living. World-class education, world-class health services. The journey ahead is going to be accelerated. You're seeing that we at the Office of the President, we intend to lead by example. Many people have asked whether we have planned our break. The only break is work.
in favor of
And the only reward is more work. We've already started this journey. Every second counts. Every minute counts. And we have to make it count in favor of the people. We have to make it count in favor of our country. And that is a yardstick that we want to measure the performance of our ministers by. So I want to make it very clear that whilst today is the first or the second installment at the leadership level, there are many announcements that will come in the course of this week. And they are also very effective measuring stick that will assess performance and that will drive change where it is necessary. So I want to put on notice publicly. And those who are coming in the whole arm of government, you have that responsibility too, because we are all part of this process. So the individuals upon whom the solemn oath, the duty of ministerial responsibility, advisory responsibility, parliamentary responsibility, technical responsibility will be conferred, would have all have been entrusted with portfolios and responsibilities for the delivery that are in of our programs, the delivery of our plans. Together with myself, the Prime Minister and the Vice President, and the rest of the Cabinet, the advisors, the technical people that will form part of this team, including our members of Parliament, we intend to deliver to the people of this country upon all the commitments and promises we would have made. The appointments to Cabinet was not made lightly. Great consideration was given to every portfolio and what we want to achieve, and the speed at which we want to achieve these results. The choices were never about competition. They're about complementarity. How do we complement each other? How do we build a team? How do we assemble teams? What are the qualities that we want as part of this team? How do we build partnership? And how do we have a mix of skill set that will drive the change and transformation that we want to achieve? Cohesion is not a luxury. It is a necessity. In an age of rapid development and shifting global currents, the business of government cannot be hampered by division, delay, or dissonance. The people of Guyana deserve leadership that is steady and unified. Leadership that places service above self, and leadership that converts policy into tangible improvements in the lives of our citizens. Our transformative programs for the next 5 years is ambitious. It demands urgency, but it also demands accountability. You're tasked with building infrastructure that will connect our regions, modernizing institutions that will safeguard our democracy, reforming the systems that deliver healthcare and education, and diversifying the economy to ensure prosperity for generations to come. These are not ordinary tasks. They are the heavy burdens of governance. And so, I've assembled a team who I know can be effective and successful in this agenda. Men and women of action, persons ready to deliver to our people. So, in these brief remarks, I want to congratulate all those who will be announced tonight and all those who will be announced in the coming days and weeks ahead of us. Whether you'll serve in the cabinet, in the parliament, in the advisory council, in a technical support council, all of you, and importantly, to those who will form the foundation of the success of the government, those who work on the ground, in the communities, in the regions. They are the foundational pillars of the work ahead. I thank all of you for your service. I thank all of you for giving of yourselves for our country, and I assure you of a very interesting journey, a rewarding journey, and a satisfying journey in the interests of the people. Rewarding and satisfying in the interests of the people. May God bless all of us on this journey of building a stronger Guyana.
In the exercise of the powers conferred upon him by Article 103(2) of the Constitution of the Republic of Guyana, and with effect from today's date, the 13th day of September 2025, His Excellency President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali will appoint ministers of government from among persons who are elected members of the National Assembly or who are qualified to be elected as such members. May I now invite those designated persons to take the oath of office before His Excellency the President and in the presence of all who are gathered here, commencing with Mr. Mohabir Anil Nandalal.
I, Mohabir Anil Nandlal, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, so help me Bhagwan.
Gail Teixeira.
I, Gail Teixeira, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so affirm.
Ashley Kumar Singh.
I, Ashley Kumar Singh, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear, so help me God.
Hugh Hilton Todd.
I, Hugh Hilton Todd, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So help me God.
Priya Devi Manik Chand.
I, Priya Devi Manichan, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Local Government and Regional Development without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear.
Pauline Rose Ann Sukai.
I, Pauline Rose Ann Sukai, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister in the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I so do affirm.
Onish Warren.
I, Onish Warren, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, and that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Home Affairs without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear. So help me God.
Sonia Savitri Karan.
I, Sonia Savitri Parad, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Education without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear, so help me God.
Zulfikar Mustafa.
I, Zulfikar Mustafa, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Agriculture without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of that functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear, so help me God.
Frank Stanislaus Anthony.
I, Frank Christopher Stanislaus Anthony, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Health without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so affirm.
One Anthony Edgen.
I, one Anthony Edgel, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Public Works without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear, so help me God.
Deodat Indar.
I, Deodat Indar, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, and that I will faithfully execute the office of the Minister of Public Utilities and Aviation without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Corporate Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear, so help me God.
Zulfikar Ali.
I, Zulfikar Ali. I, Zulfikar Ali, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of the Minister of Public Service, Government Efficiency, and Implementation without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear. So help me God.
Susan Margaret Rodriguez.
I, Susan Margaret Rodriguez, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Tourism, Industry, and Commerce without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear, so help me God.
Sarah Alisa Brown.
I, Sarah Alyssa Brown, do solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Amerindian Affairs without fear or favor, affection, or ill will. And in execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so solemnly swear, so help me God.
Kwame Warren McCoy.
I, Warren Kwame U.C. McCoy, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister in the office of the Prime Minister without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear, so help me God.
Kioma Denzel Griffith.
I, Kioma Denzel Griffith, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Labor and Manpower Planning without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear, so help me God.
Charles Shiva Ramson.
I, Charles Shiva Ramson, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, and that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Culture, Youth, and Sport without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So help me God.
Vikram Autar Bharat.
I, Vikram Autar Bharat, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, and that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Natural Resources without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and at the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so affirm.
Colin David Kroll.
I, Colin David Kroll, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Housing without fear or favor, affection or ill will,
and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear. So help me God.
Vinaya Vasini Harish Kumari Prasad.
I, Vindyavasini Harsh Kumari Prasad, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister of Human Services and Social Security without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear, so help me God.
Vikash Ramkisoon.
I, Vikash Ramkisoon, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister within the Ministry of Agriculture without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear, so help me God.
Madanlal Ramraj.
I, Madanlal Ramraj, do hereby solemnly declare that I'll bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister within the Ministry of Public Works without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do swear affirm, so help me God.
Stephen Anthony Jacob.
I, Stephen Anthony Jacobs, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, and I will faithfully execute the office of Minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear, so help me God.
Vanessa Indira Sanrina Ben.
I, Vanessa Indira Sandrina Ben, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Minister in the Ministry of Housing without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of those functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear, so help me God.
There you have it, 25 newly appointed ministers. His Excellency the President will again offer remarks.
Yeah. I'll ask the ministers who were just appointed just to come forward and stand. And I'll ask the following additional persons who would join them in Parliament to please come forward. James Anthony Bond. Jamal Hussein. Is he here? Peter Ramsarup. Anand Prasad. Sipal Narain. Bagmati Verisamy. Suresh Singh. Mahadeo Vishwa Deva Budram. Lennox Schumann. Jennifer Ann Westford. Sanjeev Datadin. And Alistair Charlie. Those I would also like to invite Tandai McAllister
who will join them as Parliamentary Secretary, and Ms. Mishka White Griffith, who would also join as Parliamentary Secretary. Ms. Mishka White Griffith. As I said earlier, a number of other appointments will be forthcoming, but I see a few that I can confirm with you tonight. Presidential Advisor on Science and Healthcare Modernization, Dr. Karpen, Dr. Mahendra Karpen. Presidential Advisor on Climate Change and Biodiversity, Sham Nokta. Kofi Dalrymple, Advisor in the Ministry of Education on Tertiary Education and Reform. I see Ruel Johnson, who will be an advisor in the One Guyana Commission. There are a few others. I'm just looking in the crowd to see who is here this evening. Is Geeta Chandan here? Advisor. Robson Horatio Ben, Senior Advisor in Home Affairs and Natural Resources. Joseph Hamilton, Advisor in Labor and Manpower Planning. PMVP, you see any of the others in the crowd? There are a number of other important appointments that will be made. Who is that? Oh, Sonia Lachman. I call Sonia name. Sonia Lachman, please put your hands together for Sonia Lachman, who will be a Member of Parliament. So stay tuned on other important appointments that will be made and other responsibilities that will be given to some of the very persons you see in front of you. I hope Guyana can see, when you trust the People's Progressive Party Civic, what you get. You get our country first and foremost. You get our people first and foremost. You get representation first and foremost. You get quality first and foremost. You get consistency first and foremost. The task ahead is to serve, 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 serve relentlessly. I thank you and God bless all of you.
Okay, this brings us to the formal part of this evening's proceedings. Please join us for cocktails. There will be some amount of
President Elton Ali of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to deliver the statement.
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I want to take this opportunity to thank Her Excellency and the people of Suriname for their tremendous hospitality and welcoming us here. I want to thank the team on both sides, our Foreign Secretary and the Foreign Minister, for their extraordinary work in having what I would summarize as an efficient meeting. As we in Guyana, we are very pleased to reaffirm our strong commitment to this bilateral relationship, to reaffirm our commitment to the expanding of this relationship, our bonds of friendship that exists between our two countries and our people, and importantly, a friendship and neighborly relationship that is based on shared values, aspirations, our geographic proximity, our cultural ties, and more importantly, our commitment to peace, security, and prosperity for our countries and our people. Those are the foundational pillars on which our relationship is built and on which the strength of our relationship is pursued. Today we had the opportunity to examine various areas of our relationship and to recommit ourselves to accelerating the growth and development of our relationship and our aspirations. In economic cooperation, we agreed that there will be specific focus on expanding trade, investment, and importantly, a mechanism through which we will have improvement of the ease of doing business for the private sector of both countries. It is important for our private sector to find it not only easy, but efficient, and to improve transparency in the way in which they do business and we conduct business. Both Madam President and I are committed to encouraging the private sector of Suriname and Guyana to maximize business investment opportunities on both sides, including the formation of joint ventures to look at joint possibilities in the business environment, in the merging of capital and integration, the greater integration of our economies and our private sector. Energy security is an important pillar on our growth and development for both countries, and we advanced discussions as to how we can build this infrastructure, support each other, not only in terms of the energy security of Guyana and Suriname, but how we can play that wider role in terms of energy security and the possibilities around an energy economy for the rest of the region in CARICOM and, of course, further afield. Not only in oil, but the gas development, renewable energy, and in the interconnection of our grid across the region. We committed to exploring joint ventures, knowledge sharing, exchanging knowledge and technology, and looking at investment opportunities in the energy ecosystem for both our countries to advance collectively and for our private sectors to also advance collectively. Key to all of this is the integration of our infrastructure. And that is why we had talks also on the bridge across the Quarantine River. Both of us, Madam President and I, have expressed commitment from both governments in having this signature project completed. As a result, there will be timely advancement of this project, recognizing the transformational role it can play for tourism, trade connectivity, and people-to-people exchanges. We have agreed to have a specific coordinating group look at addressing all outstanding issues, technical, financial, legal issues, so that we can advance this project in an efficient manner. Both of us, Madam President and I, reiterated our unwavering commitment to the peaceful settlement of border matters through diplomacy, dialogue, and respect for international law. We agreed that the chair of both commissions will meet as soon as possible and thereafter convene the 7th meeting of the Suriname-Guyana Joint Border Commission before the end of this year. We both underscore the importance of maintaining a spirit of good neighborliness in addressing every matter, with the foundational pillars of peace, international rule of law, and prosperity of our people. Agriculture, food security, and fisheries are important sectors for both of us. We both have an enormous opportunity in contributing to the food security of CARICOM and in building out an ecosystem that would position Guyana and Suriname as major food producer in our region. We agreed to establish a joint commission comprising of the ministers responsible for fisheries, technical teams and relevant stakeholders, including the fishing societies themselves and our fisher folk, before the end of 2025 to further advance cooperation in fisheries. As it relates to agricultural cooperation, we agreed to work closely under the Strategic Dialogue and Cooperation Platform. We believe that in advancing the issues of food security, agriculture, and fisheries, that we must have all stakeholders fully on board, integrated, and to have a common strategy and a common platform through which the opportunities can be pursued on both sides. Now, important in the movement of goods and services and people is the ferry service. We recognize that there need to be improvement in the efficiency and reliability of the ferry service. Therefore, we agreed that there is need for urgent review in improving and strengthening the reliability and efficiency of this service, and we have committed to having that review and to take the necessary action that would lead to the improvement of that service. Madam President and I both confirm our willingness to collaborate closer on the regional ferry project, because this is important for us, for our farmers, for our private sector, for the opportunities that both of us can create, and we will be collaborating closely on this matter because it is important for our own business and economic development. The Strategic Dialogue and Cooperation Platform is one that we believe can work well and would work well in advancing all of these plans and programs and pursuing the opportunities that lies ahead of us, and in building our partnership and advancing our bilateral relationship. We have reaffirmed our commitment to maintaining this region as a zone of peace through dialogue, diplomacy, and peaceful resolution of conflicts in accordance with international law. We reaffirm the principle of international law and the respect for international law of all stakeholders in this region, and not only the adherence, but also to conduct ourselves in a manner that international law so prescribed. We also restated our support for all constructive efforts in combating transnational crime. As you know, we are both committed to working closely, to collaborating from a security perspective in the fight against transnational crime, drug trafficking, people trafficking, and all manner of transnational crime. Madam President and I both committed to taking a very strong position against transnational crime and to have our security architecture collaborate and work in a close manner in combating transnational crime. We reaffirm our dedication to strengthening the bilateral partnership between Suriname and Guyana and to working together in the interests of our people and in the interests of the people of CARICOM and this region as a whole. Important to this is also advancing the opportunity for technology transfer, knowledge sharing, and educational cooperation. We express, once again, I want to express our appreciation to Madam President, your cabinet, the government, and the people of Suriname for the warm hospitality extended to my delegation during this visit. I want to assure Madam President that we will be maintaining this dialogue, cooperation, and we'll be advancing with vigor this relationship and the opportunities that lies ahead of us as two not only neighbors but great friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Final phases of work in the approach road and the roundabout from the Heroes Highway leading on to the new Harper Bridge. From everything I've seen and I've been told, we are looking for a opening before the end of this month. When I say opening fully for traffic. So the final phase of testing in relation to the roads, the load testing on the bridge is ongoing also. The full load testing will be completed on the bridge so that we will have this project ready for use long before the end of this month. So I'm pleased to see the final phase of the approach road work and the roundabout. From what I've seen, that would also be completed in the course of another three days maximum, from what I'm told. What we are also looking at is the expansion of the Heroes Highway into adding 2 collectors lane to take the traffic that goes directly onto the what we call the Hogsbush interconnection going all the way back to Ogle. So the engineers are looking at that also. so that you can have greater efficiency in terms of traffic flow. On the west side of the bridge, of course, there's a collector lane that has been added to take the traffic from the west bank directly off of the bridge and to put it back on the west bank carriageway instead of going around the roundabout on the west side of the bridge. So these additional work are being completed so that we can have a beautiful bridge, but also good traffic management in the process. The ultimate goal is to have, the greatest efficiency is to have 2 flyovers, one on the Hero Highway and one on the West Bank, but that is, those are projects we're looking at down in the future and not immediately. So we'll see how this design in terms of traffic management work, but definitely with the growth of the traffic, we'll have to have an unimpeded flow of traffic coming off the bridge over the new highway on both sides, going on to, whether you're going on to the East Coast or the East Bank or the West Coast and West Bank. So that is where we are.
Commander-in-Chief, we are grateful for the presence of our Commander-in-Chief this afternoon at this important event. Commander-in-Chief, this particular event proceeds and follows every significant operations that the joint services would have been involved since independence. Such activity is what we have termed the after-action review. This after-action review relates to our just concluded operation, Operation Plexus. It's a standard operation that we stand up for every national and regional elections. On the conclusion of such election, all officers are meant to meet with their subordinates and go through the different serials and events and activities that would have occurred during the said operation, and in this case, Operation Plexus. At this level, and at this juncture this afternoon, only the senior commanders are meeting, as they would have in the respective services conducted their after-action review with their subordinates. They're meant to bring those points and ventilate same here this afternoon. The aim of the after-action review is meant to consolidate and strengthen our tactics, our operational posture, and also identify areas in which we can improve on for future similar operations. And thirdly, also to identify innovative ways in which we can enhance those operations and not reflected in our manuals, etc. Commander-in-Chief, in my opening remarks just earlier this afternoon, I was alluding to that in my 33 years of service, this election would have been one of the best conducted in terms of creating the security environment for national and regional elections to be conducted. And I applaud the service and professionalism of our officers and ranks across the joint services. Commander-in-Chief, in one particular instance, there was a shooting incident on our border on E-Day, on Elections Day. And while we would have discussed this, I want to point out that this particular attack cannot be measured in the previous attack as just a threat to our territorial integrity and our sovereignty. This was an attack to our democracy, as we were escorting GCOM officials on the Guyana River. The vigilance of our ranks, our defense force, police force, and elements of our Coast Guard were effective in their drills to ensure that no serious disruption or injuries occurred. By and large, Commander-in-Chief, we are sitting here this afternoon to reflect back on our operational posture. I have no doubt that in future such operations or joint operations, we will continue to operate with efficiency and bring the kind of desired service, security product to the people of Guyana. Commander-in-Chief, you're here this afternoon to give brief remarks about our conduct and creating that security environment. But I recall a few months ago at the Defense Board, you have directed that the Chief of Defense Staff design and generate medals for select categories of operational activities that define our service to this nation. And there were a few. Our engineers operating under imminent threats and constructing runways or rehabilitating runways on our borders. In another, we were meant to design and generate a medal to be awarded to ranks who would have conducted themselves in disaster relief and humanitarian operations, like we would have done so on many occasions, and just recently to our sister countries in the Caribbean. You've also directed, Commander-in-Chief, that joint operations, when they reach that threshold that secure our nation in high intensity and challenging environment, we also recognize our officers and ranks. This afternoon, Commander-in-Chief, we invite you to present the Joint Services Medal to 4 ranks each of the joint services, who will represent those who will be awarded later by the heads of services. For this important recognition of creating the environment so that our national elections can be conducted. Before I invite you, Commander-in-Chief, I would take the opportunity on behalf of myself and all the heads of services here, officers and ranks of the joint services, to congratulate you having been elected to office by the people of Guyana. The stewardship, your leadership that you have demonstrated over the past 5 years has been instrumental to the improvement and standard across a spectrum of capabilities, human equipment, infrastructure across the joint services. We therefore take the opportunity to wish you well as you begin this journey in your second term, and surely look forward for what else we can do to enhance our own service to the people of Guyana. Commander-in-Chief, I now invite you to give brief remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please have your seats. Heads of the joint services, senior officers, officers and members of the joint services, I'm very pleased to be here this afternoon and to be part of this simple yet profound ceremony aimed at extending the nation's gratitude to the men and women of the joint services who stood duty on Elections Day and in the days prior to and following elections. I'm here to thank you personally on behalf of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana for the exceptional role that you have played in safeguarding peace, good order, and stability across our 10 administrative regions. This activity is but a modest expression of our appreciation for your service. As I've said before, and I will say again, because it cannot be repeated enough, elections are the lifeblood of democracy. When citizens can exercise their rights to vote freely, without fear or intimidation, a nation demonstrates the depth of its democratic maturity. The peaceful and orderly conduct of our most recent elections was not an accident or circumstance. It was a direct result of planning, vigilance, discipline, and the efforts of the joint services, and we cannot forget the Guyana Elections Commission, who did an extraordinary job. In this regard, I wish to extend my personal gratitude to the leadership of the joint services here today. Your foresight, your coordination, and your ability to act as one united force ensured that all contingencies were anticipated and addressed. But just as important, I wish to pay tribute to the individual ranks, those men and women who stood at polling stations, patrolled our streets, and manned their posts with quiet diligence. Leadership gives direction, but it is the rank and file who give effect to that vision. And this afternoon, we honor both. On Election Day, you stood watch. In the days after, when tensions could have easily have tipped into disorder, you held the line, calm, silent but decisive in your actions. And this, of course, allowed the people's will to be expressed without disruption. For this, we thank you. For this, we honor you. For this, history will remember you. It is often said that the test of a nation is not how it behaves in times of comfort, but how it conducts itself in moments of strain. Elections can be moments of strain. They stir passion, they invite debate, they expose division. Yet Guyana passed the test, and we passed it because the joint services ensured that passion did not become provocation, and division did not descend into disorder. Your vigilance gave us peace. Your discipline gave us stability. Your courage secures our democracy. Allow me to remind us all of something fundamental. Peace and stability at home are not just about the absence of conflict. They're about the presence of order. They're about creating an environment where citizens can trust the process, where business can function, where communities can feel safe. And when we strengthen peace and stability within our borders, we are also fortifying our stability to protect our sovereignty and territorial integrity. Domestic peace is the foundation of national defense. For Guyana, this is not an abstract principle. We live in a region where we face claims that challenge our territorial integrity and threaten our national patrimony. It is therefore imperative that the world see us as a people, united, capable of conducting our affairs with dignity and order. When our elections are peaceful, when our democracy is secure, our case for sovereignty is strengthened. The stronger our peace, the firmer our borders, the deeper our unity, the higher our defense. Stability at home ensures that our joint services can focus their energy on the twin tasks of security and sovereignty. A country that is peaceful within is formidable. The work you did on Elections Day was not only about that day, it was about ensuring that Guyana presents itself to the world as a stable, credible, and mature democracy. To every officer, every rank, every individual who took up duty, I offer my heartfelt congratulations. You were the embodiment of discipline and professionalism. While the nation went to the polls, you stood guard. While ballots were cast, you kept watch. While results were awaited, you maintained calm. Your service made the people's choice possible. Your vigilance made democracy visible. Let us not underestimate the weight of what was achieved. Around the world, we have seen how elections can descend into violence, how trust in institutions can be eroded by disorder, how democracy can be weakened by chaos. But in Guyana, we showed another path. We showed that elections can be orderly, that transitions can be peaceful, and democracy can be both vibrant and stable. This was our collective achievement as a people, but it was secured by the efforts of the joint services. We are, as a nation, still young in democratic years, but with each election conducted peacefully, with each transition managed smoothly, with each exercise of the people's will respected and protected, we grow in strength and in stature. And in this growth is possible, and this growth is possible because of the shield provided by the joint services. This afternoon's ceremony is not a reward, it is a recognition. No ceremony can adequately repay the sacrifices you made or the burdens you bore. Many of you spent long hours, days, and weeks away from your families. Many of you worked in tense and uncertain conditions. Many of you endured the strain of duty so that the rest of us could enjoy the privilege of voting in peace. For that, we are in your debt. But what we can offer and what we must offer is a nation's gratitude. Gratitude not only in words but in deeds. Gratitude that will be reflected in our commitment to support and strengthen the joint services, to provide you with the tools and resources you need to ensure that your welfare is prioritized and that your service is honored, not just ceremonially, but substantively. To the people of Guyana, let us take a lesson from this moment. The peace we enjoyed was not automatic, it was secured. The order we experienced was not natural, it was protected. The democracy we celebrated was not guaranteed, it was defended. And those who secured, protected, and defended it were the men and women of the joint services. They were part of that collective. We owe them not just thanks, but respect. As we look ahead to the future, let us do so with confidence, knowing that we have within our nation a force capable of preserving our democracy and protecting our sovereignty. In closing, let me remind you that peace is priceless. Stability is strength. Democracy is dignity. And the joint services are the guardians of all three. On behalf of the government and the people of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, I say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your example. May our efforts continue to inspire confidence in our democracy, unity in our people, and strength in our nation. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
We'll now have the reading of the citation.
Citation for Joint Services Medal Class A. The Joint Services Medal is hereby conferred on the undermentioned ranks of the Joint Services for their meritorious and dedicated service in support of the maintenance of law and order in Guyana during Operation Plexus 2025-01, conducted during the period Wednesday, August 20th to Monday, September 8th. These ranks were at the forefront of direct action which enabled the effective execution of the operation. Their commitment, bravery, and professionalism reflect great credit upon themselves and the Joint Service. It is for this reason that His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, hereby confer the Joint Services Medal Class A upon these ranks. Second Lieutenant Rolex Bob, Sergeant Roderick Bancroft, Corporal Rondell Asano of the Guyana Defense Force, Assistant Superintendent of Prisons Patrick Crawford, Chief Prison Officer Jennifer James, and Principal Officer Julian Alfonso. From the Guyana Fire Service, Cadet Officer Desmond Coursety, Station Officer Travis Devent, Leading Fireman Sherwin Norris. And from the Guyana Police Force, Assistant Superintendent Rickford Harley Quinn, Woman Inspector Shanice Bob, and Woman Inspector Ruby King Blair. For their involvement in the maintenance of law and order in Guyana by direct participation in Operation Plexus 2025-01 during the period aforementioned, awarded on this 11th day of September, signed Brigadier Omar Khan, MSS Chief of Defense Staff, Chairman of the Joint Service Coordinating Council.